that is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode 72 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam and the heist crew is back together because Sam is here.
Hello.
John is here.
Hello.
And Brett is also here.
Hello. And I'm back to last.
Yeah,
where you belong.
Back where you belong.
Number 30.
The main event. The main event.
Yeah, if you were a wrestler, Brett, you'd already be in the ring with no entrance music.
oh, that really hurt.
Yeah, so Brett had his time to shine last week when we said we were going to have a week off. We didn't even mention that TakeOver was on because we didn't really want people to know that we weren't going to pod about it, but then we just couldn't help ourselves. John and Sam were very, very busy with various bits and bobs, but Brett and I managed to sneak out a TakeOver review, and Brett, you got to talk more than ever.
I did. It was fun.
Shut up.
And now we're back to two-word answers.
Yeah, I have to watch and wait for someone to talk, to cut in now.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, this podcast, where we'll be resuming normal service, is our first top 5 in a little while. If you want to check out the others, I think we've done about 5 or 6 others. Have a little look on our Twitter. I put a tweet out earlier today just listing all the ones that we've done because we've done too many now to list out on the pod.
Am I right in thinking that they're becoming increasingly stupid in a good way?
Yeah, I was going to say there's some serious ones there's some stupid ones there, and I think the stupid ones are probably the best.
The stupid ones are our favourites, aren't they?
They're going to win out, guaranteed.
Yeah, always.
We don't have anything to add to the serious ones, do we, really?
We have no serious input into any kind of wrestling whatsoever.
The serious ones require knowledge and memories, so...
I'd love to do one
both of which we don't have.
Top 5 rest holds. That'd be a good one.
Oh, I reckon Finn Balor would be quite high on that, He loves a rest hold.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll probably get to that at some point, episode 265. No, this episode is a silly one, and it is top 5 wrestlers to rob a bank with. We did say we were going to put a poll out on Twitter, but we started trying to come up with some ideas. And was this your idea, Brett?
It was a combination of me and Sam, I believe.
Yeah,
so it was a tag team effort.
Yeah, I said like heist, and I think Sam was like rob a bank. So yeah.
And we were like, this is perfect. This is right up our street. Sam, have you ever robbed a bank?
No, the only thing I've ever stolen is hearts.
Hey, no one believes that.
I know, I don't even believe it.
John, have you ever been involved in any petty shoplifting? Come on, be honest.
Actually, the first bit of pornography I ever owned was shoplifted when I was on holiday in Spain.
Oh, how old were you?
What a story!
I don't
25.
know. Yeah, I'd say mid-teens, maybe.
Wow, and what was it? A
Scandalous.
magazine?
No, video.
Oh, wow, John.
In Spanish?
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't remember the dialogue, Adam.
You had the volume way down. Were you in a little villa with your mum and dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
God.
question: did you get
Seedy.
caught? And did any of your family ever find out about this?
No.
Until now.
Yeah, until now, because I'm
Huge
going
confession from John.
to send this recording to your parents. Wow. Okay, Brett, ever stolen any porn?
Oh no. I actually don't believe I've ever nicked anything.
No, of course you haven't.
No, I'm always too fearful.
Not even
of...
on the self-scan checkout.
Really?
Just try and get a little sly thing in there.
Too fearful of repercussions.
I've definitely seen you slip like a pack of fags into a pocket in a newsagent's before.
Yeah.
Wow. I have. Well, I mean, most of what I own has been stolen. That's not true.
Great start.
I think about stealing things quite a lot, as John alluded to. When you're at the checkout, or especially not even the self scan, or where you're doing a few things from a basket. When you're doing the full on shop with a scanner in Tesco or something, and I think like 1 in 5 or 6 you get reviewed, and somebody has to come and scan 5 of your items. But there's potential there. there's potential to steal a lot of stuff.
That's a great point. Every day for the last 6 weeks, I have undercut Tesco's on their ciabatta rolls.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I always put them through as
Crusty white rolls.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
ain't crusty white. Those are ciabattas. Yeah.
Wow, I think we're too enthused by the fact that we're criminals.
Sly.
We're kind of modern day Robin Hoods, I like to think of ourselves.
I'm taking from the poor and giving to my stomach.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're taking it from like Tesco's or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, fuck Tesco.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got to be honest, Adam, I'm a little surprised actually, because you've always struck me as like a low-key psycho. Like, kind of when we were all talking about like stealing ciabattas and porn, I can imagine you've like committed quite serious fraud about like financial investments or something. Is that?
Yeah, like your early career up in London, I reckon you were like a hedge fund manager or something like that.
In a boiler room.
There's a lot that I can't reveal on this podcast. I can't. I'll just put everything at risk: my house, my family, and this podcast. Most importantly.
Yeah, I loved how me and John both reacted to that, as in like, yes, Sam, you're right.
Yeah, right. I think we should crack on.
Everything's got to be perfect.
My plans for this, when we started this episode, was like, right, we'll have a really snappy opening. We'll just get straight into it. Let's move on. Let's crack on with the top 5 wrestlers we would love to rob a bank with.
Oh, God! Martinez face off the edge of the ring.
That's one of the hardest part of the rings there.
Fraser Thomas there, commentating on Super Strong Style 16 for Progress, of course, getting the absolute basics wrong. For God's sake, Fraser.
But getting his basics about wrestling wrong.
I know. Who would do that, eh? Not us. Top 5 wrestlers to rob a bank with. Tonight we are discussing wrestlers who we think would make the best accomplices when it comes to staging a heist. So we're going to need muscle, we're going to need problem solvers, we're going to need a getaway driver, we're going to need all sorts. So as always, each of us are going to bring 2 picks to the table. We'll then hear some listener suggestions before locking down 1 pick each and then debating the final entry. Before we start doing that, though, do you guys remember the amazing time we had on the last top 5 where I did that courtroom-themed wrestling match?
Oh, yeah. That was great.
John Subpoena,
Yeah.
Okay,
you should have started with John Subpoena.
Yeah.
Tyler Interrobate.
Yes.
I tell you what, those have gotten better with age. They're like a good wine.
Yeah, I picked out.
Trouble is,
I
it
picked out the
feels
best
like you're
2.
setting us up for something here, Adam.
Well, guys, I've done it again. It's true. You're right, John. I've done it again, but this time it's bank themed. So I've come up with a bank puns match. Are you ready?
Okay. Is it going to involve You know what? No, you do the joke.
Yeah, if you steal my best one, I'll be quite annoyed. So obviously it's going to be a Money in the Bank ladder match. That's just a no-brainer.
Standard.
And it's going to be an intergender match between Czech Mambo,
Right.
Nia Bax, like Bax payment. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Mojo Withdrawally.
That sounds like a sex thing rather than a bank thing.
A Mojo Withdrawally.
Yeah. Did that feature on your little Spanish video?
Oh, I hope so, yeah.
ATM Bamoon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more, guys. We've got 2 more.
Okay.
Bear with me. Ban King Kong Bundy. Ban King Kong Bundy.
No, we heard it the first time.
Wasn't he also the head of the UN at one point?
Nice.
And finally, Overdrawn Michaels. Overdrawn Michaels. Overdrawn Michaels. Overdrawn Michaels. I thought that was the best one, Overdrawn Michaels.
No, I like withdrawal.
Again, yeah, you've started strong and you've ended weak.
Yeah.
No, I know. I made that mistake in the last episode, in the last top 5. So I was like, Overdrawn Michaels, that's the best one. I'll put that last. Can't believe it.
No, you need to work on your pacing of these pun runs.
Yeah, it's because I wait for a reaction. Maybe I should just do it all at once. Anyway, doesn't matter. Sod it. Oh, no.
We can reorder them in the edit.
Yeah, we'll see.
No Sasha Banks in that match.
Oh, it's too obvious.
Sorry.
Too obvious.
I was thinking.
I should say I did come up with an announced team as well of Mauro Renalone and Corey Saves.
That's all right. That's quite like those.
Do you know what? I think I'm going to retire these fucking pun matches. I write this down and, I was typing them in. I was chuckling to myself. I was like, this is great. These guys are going to love this. The listeners are going to be losing their shit. They're going to get in touch. They're going to want spin-off pods. And here we are, hardly any laughter at all.
I love it. I do love it. It just takes me a bit of time. to love it.
Just because we don't laugh doesn't mean it's not funny.
Okay.
That's what people have been telling me my whole life.
Fine, let's move on to our top 5 selections. We have switched up the order slightly from last time, which is just irrelevant admin for the listeners, but we'll include it anyway. And up first, to pick his first wrestler to rob a bank with, is Brett. Who are you going for, Brett?
Awesome. So I was terrified with my late homework on this that I might lose out on people, then I'd be stuffed. So I've gone for, first things first, our getaway driver.
Yes.
Ooh.
And I have Sparkplug Holly.
Great idea.
Bob Holly back in the day. So actually, like, you know, his sort of racing themed character was because he was a race car driver, like on a local level scene apparently. And then once he was, and apparently once he was affiliated, like, you know, a part of WWE, he sort of, you know, met more people, so was able to race on a higher level, but not like too much competition, a bit more part time. So he's got the skills.
Yep.
And then, right, I thought, when the shit hits the fan in a heist, as it always does,
Yeah, of course.
he's also your man because he evolves into Hardcore Holly. So, you know, he can deal with whatever comes at him.
Nice. So when he exits the car, he turns into Hardcore Holly, and when he gets back in, he's Sparkplug Holly.
Exactly. And it seems
that.
that, like, the whole hardcore thing also comes from something, because I was reading apparently before his wrestling days, he used to like to get into bar fights all the time. And he'd go
I heard he liked to do that during his wrestling days as well.
apparently. So he'd go to a bar, size up people in there and see who he thought was the toughest guy, and then put some money down and challenge them to a fight.
Wow.
So
Badass.
he was a nut job.
Do you know what my favourite part about this is? The fear that you had that any of us would pick Hardcore Holly.
Well, I just thought Sparkplug Holly, you know, it's a bit obvious, but yeah.
What I love about this is that he could get into the car with his nice long hair and he gets out shaved, bleached blonde.
Yes.
No one's going to recognise him.
Nice. Yeah, great start. Great pick. Okay, I'm next, and I have gone for Doink the Clown.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's face it, he's already in disguise.
Yeah, a lot of clown masks in heists. Yeah,
I personally think clown masks in heists, like whenever you get a big gangster film or something, or a bank job film, clown masks look pretty cool because they're kind of scary and intimidating. I mean, usually if it's just the mask and then they're all in leathers or something, obviously Doink in his full clown outfit's perhaps not quite as intimidating.
I don't know. That with like a shotgun, a sort of shotgun, would be pretty terrifying.
That's true.
Probably more so.
Obviously, you know, if he's caught on CCTV in the bank, then nobody's going to know who he actually is. And obviously, you know, nobody's going to know who he actually is because there's such a huge list of people who portrayed him.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I've got this up on Wikipedia now. Quickly go through who's portrayed Doink the Clown because it's pretty mental. Obviously, Matt Osborne was the original Doink. He left WWF in December 93. Steve Kern wrestled as the Illusion Doink at WrestleMania 9 and occasionally the real Doink at house shows. Steve Lombardi occasionally wrestled as Doink at house shows and dressed as Doink for various appearances.
AKA the Brooklyn Brawler.
There you go. Nice. Ray Liccamelli wrestled as Doink in the WWF after Osborne left. Dusty Wolf wrestled as Doink in the NWA.
Dusty
Ace
Wolf
Darling,
is a great name.
Yeah. Ace Darling wrestled Scotty Flamingo as Doink in a Smoky Mountain wrestling card in 1994. Eugene wrestled as Doink on SmackDown
God.
in 2003, losing to
Eugene.
he who shall not be named, to Chris Benoit. Jeff Jarrett once dressed up as Doink to pull pranks on Dink. Men on a Mission and the Bushwhackers wrestled as the Four Doinks at the 1993 Survivor Series. And finally, Chris Jericho took on the persona of Doink in order to ambush William Regal. So it could be any of those guys turning up to the... Well, apart from the ones that are
I'd
dead.
love to see those guys in a lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of them are dead now, actually. But there's a few. There are a few who are still going. So, yeah, Doink the Clown.
I thought you were going to say Chris Jericho dressed as Doink for his match against Okada at Dominion. But that's just his new gimmick.
Yeah, so,
Very nice.
Doink is my first pick. Master of Disguise. John, who are you going
Strong.
So my first pick is actually someone you mentioned. It's going to be Chris Jericho.
Ooh.
So to rob a bank, you need to have a plan. And we know Chris Jericho's great with making lists. He's got loads of different gimmicks, so he could use those as disguises. He's got the light-up jacket that could dazzle the police.
Nice.
He's quite a bit of a bruiser these days, so he could like physically intimidate the sort of security guards and the cashiers. He could do a line saw over the cashiers to get into the back.
Oh, great detail.
Yeah, I think they could use a bit like, the CIA used to blast dictators' loud music. You could blast the bank with the latest Fozzy album because that would put people on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Go on, Sam.
Listen, do you know the problem with Chris Jericho robbing a bank is that a week later on his podcast, he would want the entire world to know about it.
I'll give all the details of how it came about.
But best of all, like his finishing move's the code breaker that could get used to get into the safe.
Very nice.
Lovely detail on that.
Strong ending,
John. Yeah, like that a lot. Sam, who are you going for?
All right, so my guy who's going to get us in, I need someone with experience.
Yeah,
I need someone who's flexible, can like bend his way through the vents, and I need someone who, if he comes across like glass, he can open it up with a diamond cutter. Yeah, I need Diamond Dallas Page. You can see him doing a little bit of DDP yoga, getting through those vents, sneaking through, bending around some lasers.
If DDP yoga will get you through vents, but I'm interested to see it.
I think if anyone can pull it off,
True, yeah.
he's got previous sneaking into the Undertaker's house. Did a great job with that, and I think he'd do a good job. And not only that, I reckon he wouldn't want any of the spoils of the bank. I think, bending around lasers and stuff is its own reward for him. So I'm quids in, really.
Nice. Okay, so
I didn't think we'd get DDP on this. I like that.
No, I didn't either. He's too good. He's too much of a good guy. Look at all the people he's basically saved from death's door.
All the people he's collecting for an Ocean's 11 style heist.
He does kind of have the face of a bank robber, sort of slightly jello-y, Play-Doh-y face.
It looks like he's already wearing like one of those presidential masks.
Yeah. Or tights.
He's
Looks
got
like
the face of the guy that like gets left behind. He's got wounded, like winged with a gunshot, and he's like left there as the rest are escaping.
But I don't think he'd dob me in.
Oh, no.
No, he's no snitch. Absolutely no way.
DDP's definitely no snitch.
No, not at all.
Glad we got that sorted.
Although I'd love the fact if he actually did end up going to prison, imagine he'd transform every criminal in there. They'd all be doing
essentially,
yoga.
It's just win-win-win, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'm warming to that pick a lot. Okay, so those were the first picks from each of us. They were Sparkplug Holly, Doink the Clown, Chris Jericho, and Diamond Dallas Page. I love top fives.
We've gone for quite an old.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, very old. Okay, before we go on to our second picks, I've got a quick interlude, guys. Do you want to hear about some wrestlers who've had some serious financial troubles, so could well have done with robbing a bank?
You mean basically the entire 90s and 80s?
Yeah. Sounds quite a dark interlude.
Of course we do, Adam. Of course we do.
We like to go dark, don't we? I mean, you'll know about these ones, but it's always fun to laugh at other people's expense, I think. So,
sure.
First up, Virgil.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that is sad. Every time he comes up on internet somewhere, it's a depressing story about how he's selling merch in some subway underground station.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's well known for being totally broke. He's always appearing at all kinds of conventions, trying to sign autographs for a fee. I think there was the period where he used to get booked at conventions under the assumption that he'd turn up with Ted DiBiase. And then when he'd get there, he'd be like, oh, no, Ted couldn't make it, or Ted's not well. And Ted actually had no idea about it and eventually put a stop to it. And then we've also got the fact that Virgil set up his own GoFundMe in 2015 in an attempt to make himself $1 million man. It's still going. So if you just Google Virgil and $1 million man, you can go take a look. He's raised $1,210.
Oh,
that's $1,200 more than I expected him to make.
Yeah, so I think there's a whole website dedicated to photos of him looking lonely at conventions as well. And I think he's sort of got in on the act as well. Yeah, it's a sorry situation, but yeah. Next up, Brutus Beefcake. obviously
Oh, I
popular.
love Brutus.
Popular in the 80s and early 90s, but by 2004 he was skint and ended up getting a job in Boston as a subway attendant. During this time, he left a bag of cocaine at his station, and someone reported it as possibly being anthrax.
Oh, that's a bad day for all involved, isn't it?
Yeah. And he checked into rehab shortly after that incident. And
Hey, stuff like that can get you into office over here.
yes.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Topical.
Topical, eh?
And finally, we've got to talk about Ric Flair, one of the biggest names in the history of wrestling. Obviously, somebody who has made millions of dollars over his career, but doesn't have an awful lot to show for it, unfortunately. He sold shed loads of merchandise, but he's just, his lavish lifestyle's meant that he's managed to lose most of it. He's got divorced 4 times, and he just loves spending that money. So
Poor old Rick lives the gimmick.
He really does.
There's also that wrestler that did actually rob a bank. It's like, is it Cage? St. Cage.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I definitely should have found out about him. Short break while I Google it and then pretend that I knew about it.
Yeah, sure. We'll edit this out. Be fine.
I quite love Adam's dark interludes. It's becoming my favourite part of the podcast.
Oh, okay, nice. I'm not going to Google that because I just want to crack on. So yeah, 3 awful lives. Actually, Ric Flair's not leading an awful life. I'm sure he's still enjoying it, but I don't think he hasn't got the
Ric
amount of money
Flair,
that he should have.
Yeah, he's having a lovely old time.
The wrestler in question is Nick Gage from
There we go.
CZW.
Nice one, Sam.
A little bit of Googling. It's my thing.
So yeah, I mean there are loads of other examples. When I did a Google for it, there were lots of top 10 wrestlers who've lost all their money and things like that, and some of them were just too depressing to read. Obviously, as you say, sorry, Sam, go.
I was going to say, like, if you're Nick Gage and you've gone in and out of prison, when you come out, surely you're going to be wrestling under the name Rob Banks.
Was that worth interrupting for?
I like that. It took me a while for my brain to process that, weirdly. But
Stepping on your territory.
I do the puns
Maybe
here.
he'd get a cease and desist from the DJ Rob DeBank.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a depressing time, the 80s and the 90s for wrestlers, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the
definitely.
The fact that they had no
Right word.
insurance. I know there's obviously a lot to be said about the healthcare situation now, but there's no insurance, no healthcare, racked up loads of debt paying medical bills because they were just on the road,
I mean,
8
also
days a week.
they snorted and drank their earnings.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
they didn't look
had
after
a lovely
themselves.
old time during it.
Very true. Anyway, hooray! Let's move on. Let's do our second round of picks then. And Brett, you're up next. Who's your second pick?
So my second pick is a younger, more agile, more likely version of Sam's acrobatic pick.
Okay.
And I've gone for Ricochet. So Ricochet is my
too nice.
Mission Impossible guy who's, roping down through the ventilation shafts rather than just like weaving through the lasers. He's somersaulting through them, flipping off this wall and that wall and all the way through. So yeah, essentially he is the amazing Yen from the Ocean's
acrobat.
11.
I was going to say, I would watch Ricochet and DDP breaking into a bank together. That would be a lot of fun.
Plus I think Ricochet's just got such an innocent face that no one would pin it on him afterwards
No, good point.
because he just looks like such a good lad.
He does. He really does. I like that a lot. And in fact, he was going to be my next pick. And for exactly those reasons, the flipping over the lasers.
Yeah.
We've seen that kind of thing in a lot of... What's the ridiculous scene? Is it in one of the...
Ocean's 12, when the guy does all the fucking capoeira around the lasers, that's pretty bad.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of one of the Austin Powers.
No, Capoeira's never good.
Which is the Austin Powers where they've got the... Is it that? Or is it Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? It's one of those. I think it might be Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Oh, who knows? Anyway, I'm losing the plot. Good pick, Ricochet. Yes, I like it a lot. So I'm not going to go for him, obviously, but I will go for my next one. And to be honest, let's face it, this is great. This is great that I get to talk about this guy. We need muscle. We need an enforcer. We need Braun Strowman.
I knew he was going to come in here at some point.
Is it
He was on my
because
long list.
of how comfortable he is with shooting assault weapons?
Oh my word, that's a good point. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. If you follow him on Instagram, you know he loves guns. He loves bullets. He loves magazines. He loves everything, every single part of the gun. And he's not afraid to talk about it an awful lot. But most importantly, he can just rip off a vault door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can pick up a safe and just carry it out.
You know, I was thinking about Braun Strowman earlier because I was like, why even bother getting to the bank? We could get to one of those like money vehicles and he could just tip it up.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, I mean, you don't need a whole crew. You just need Braun Strowman. Just go in there, roar at everybody, and they'll just be, oh, okay, fine.
If I had a
He'll just
criticism,
use his hands. Yeah.
not the most inconspicuous man.
No.
Yeah, but you need the muscle.
Yeah, but he's the guy that they like. You know, he's like King Kong climbing up the Empire State Building at the end, isn't he? He's like, they've got the helicopters, they've got SWAT, they've got like, you know, a tank rolling up, and they're all firing, and he's just decimated.
His flesh is just swallowing the bullets.
You could use him as a distraction, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would definitely have to betray him.
Oh yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, you'd want to anyway because he'd plenty going to turn on you. 'cause-
Loose thread.
Yeah.
If you look down this list we've got so far, we don't have an enforcer,
No,
do we?
no.
We have a big guy.
I'm surprised he wasn't your first pick, to be honest,
Yeah.
Adam.
I know, I just wanted to talk about Doink.
Do you know what as well, though? He's got a bit of previous wearing masks. He could rock up in his little sheep mask from the old days.
Very true. Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot going for Braun here.
And
Yeah.
he's got those trousers with lots of pockets, so he can put extra gold bullions in each one.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Absolutely perfect. John, who's your second pick?
Okay, so there's quite a lot of groundwork for this one.
We're ready.
Brilliant. I'm up for it. We're sitting back.
So it starts with me getting an entry-level marketing job at the bank.
Okay, yeah.
Then I would impress the senior management team with my amazing marketing skills, with campaigns like "Don't Be Lonely" loan application, where you get to spend a full day with one of the members of staff, or the
like
stable investment where you get a free prop-up stick.
Oh, the stable investment. That's a good wrestling pun as well.
After these sensational campaigns, I earn the trust of management, and they give me the next new promotion. And I suggest that we do a marketing campaign around Easter called the Excellent Credit Card. Not
Okay.
only does it come with a great interest rate, but you get a free box of eggs with every purchase.
Like it.
What the
Okay.
hell is happening?
So to help promote the Excellent Credit Card, in the bank, we install a giant egg with loads of banners and people will be handing out free eggs.
Okay.
Be a massive success, but little do the people know that at night the egg would crack and the gobbledygooker would be inside and then rob the bank while no one was around.
There you go. I thought you were picking yourself for the heist then.
You might as well have.
Yeah, you did all the work. John managed to pick himself.
So basically, John was on his way home from work today and he was like, oh, it'd be great to talk about the gobbledygooker. How on earth can I manage to shoehorn this in? And you found a way.
I can't believe
I
you
love
put
this backstory.
gobbledygooker too. That's my last pick on.
Okay, John, that was
that
a
was
very
golden.
interesting one. Sam, tell us, who is your final pick?
Yeah, my final pick. I need a guy who's willing to take the fall, and who better than Mick Foley?
Ooh, nice.
Perfect.
Purely
Yeah.
for that opening
Purely
line.
for the pun. I need a guy who basically he's happy to wear a mask. He's happy to basically do whatever I ask him to do. He'll fall off whatever I need him to. He's just a good guy, you know. Who
Yeah,
do
you
not
could
want?
use him as a human shield as well. Just
Right.
take the abuse.
When we come out of the prison? When we come out of the bank, I've already put ourselves 2 steps ahead. I could probably hold him as a hostage, and he'd probably be just telling the police, shoot me, like,
Yeah.
and he'd take it, and
Yeah.
he'd sell it well.
That's the thing. He'd like get shot so many times, but he'll just keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah.
worried about the fact that he'd turn up in his check shirt and then everybody would know who he was.
Do you know what? You take the mask off him, just the shirt and the tie.
Yeah.
He'd look like a
Ooh,
bank
okay.
employee. Maybe a little
So
bit
go for
Mr. Socko
mankind.
action in there, helping out.
Yeah. Well, instead of like a gun to the like cashiers, he can get Mr. Socko out.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Would you want the
Nice.
mandible claw?
No.
There we
No.
go. Mick
Sold.
Foley solved. I'm going for
Perfect.
all old.
Okay, so a lot of old guys here. That
one
is
turkey.
and one turkey. That's our second picks. They were Ricochet, Braun Strowman, Gobbledygooker, and Mick Foley. And after this quick break, we're going to hear what you, the listeners, have suggested.
Now they're on the ring apron.
This is a dangerous spot in the ring, Morrow. The hardest part of the ring, nothing but steel underneath their feet.
Listener suggestions. Obviously, we asked you guys on Twitter and you came up with loads of good ones. And John is going to tell us what and who you suggested.
Okay, so we have Opinion Nation 84. They say Dustin Rhodes, Adam Page, John Moxley, and Road Warrior Animal and Ryback guarding the door. That's a pretty mean-looking team.
Why Road Warrior Animal and not Hawk?
Yeah, I'm interested to know that. Why specifically Road Warrior Animal? Maybe there's something we're missing there.
Maybe because Hawk's dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
very good reason.
that'd be tough.
Okay. I need to tell you guys something. You may have seen this on Twitter. We had a huge moment in the history of the podcast when this tweet came in. Because Opinion Nation 84 tagged all of those people, like the true Twitter pro.
Ooh.
And Ryback liked the tweet.
Oh. Yes!
We've made it.
Feed me
We
more.
made it.
I'm telling you guys, it's happening. The Ryback. We need to name this steam that we're building.
Don't call it a Ryback. Hopefully
Ryback in the ring.
He'll
Got the
listen to
Ryback
this.
rub.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible moment. Absolutely brilliant. So thanks to Opinion Nation 84 for that. Who else got in touch, John?
Oliver Guy's been in touch. He says Shockmaster for a smooth smash and grab operation. I like that. I wish I'd thought of that.
He attached the GIF. He attached the GIF of Shockmaster flying through the wall and falling over with that. It was absolutely brilliant. So funny.
Always a
good.
classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
MJ from the Riptide After Party Pod. He says Sasha Banks, judging by the name, she knows something about Banks.
But according to Adam, it's too obvious.
Two of
Sorry,
two
MJ.
ofs.
Sorry, MJ.
John Cena, nobody can see him. Lord Gideon
amazing.
Grey, evil genius. Matt Riddle, he'd stayed chilled throughout. Very chilled.
Too chilled.
Yeah.
Too
Not
chilled.
sure about that
and
one.
he'd probably start slagging off Goldberg or something and not focusing on what he's supposed to be doing.
Finally, Nails. Worst case scenario, he can advise us how to get by in prison.
I reckon a lot of 80s wrestlers could as well, but yes.
Yeah. Will Superkit says, how is no one saying Repo Man? He was literally a crook. I don't think the Repo Man was a crook. He was repossessing people's stuff.
No, he was a repo. He was a crook. He used to
Yeah.
turn out and steal like hubcaps and shit.
I think that, I mean, the point is with Repo Man and Nails is that, well, actually, I don't know if Repo Man did get caught, but Nails got caught. So we don't want anybody who's going to get caught. Repo Man, I mean, if you turn up looking like a bank robber, we're going to send you home. You know, you need to be a bit more inconspicuous, I reckon. So, no.
Yeah,
Will
like Braun
Superkit.
Strowman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Also, we have Capital Clownface says Scott Steiner, the muscle. Damien Sandow, the genius safecracker. Big Boss Man, the guard. Adam Cole, the charismatic leader. And finally, the boogeyman, the one who scares everyone into submission.
I like the idea of Adam Cole as the leader. He would be very good at that. Like slicked
would
back
be.
hair. Yeah, I like
I'm not entirely sure I would trust Scott Steiner with dividing up the money after his maths debate.
Scott Steiner would definitely turn on you as well.
Yeah, definitely.
that. They're all going to turn. Everyone's going to turn on each
Yeah.
other. That's half the fun.
We've got old Mr. Beerface. He says Eddie Guerrero. He lies, he cheats, he steals. Carmella. Mella is money. Crash Holly. Impossible to catch. The genius, because genius. Heath Slater got kids. He really needs this.
Strong. I like
Mella
Heath Slater.
Mella is money, but that means we should actually be stealing her, isn't it? We'll open the vault and she'll just be in there having a dance break.
And then Jinder Mahal will be in there trying to pin our truth.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff.
Okay, we've got two more. We've got Aeon Nix.
Oh, John.
Aeron Nix.
I even tried to
Aeron
write it
Nix.
phonetically.
Not good enough.
Okay.
Midori Suzuki stares people give up everything they have. Natalia, her terrible promos will knock out any security through boredom. Seth Rollins could be the hacker as he's great at getting results despite technology leaks. Ooh. Brock Lesnar, because he seems to be brilliant at getting shit ton of money from incredible minimal results. Plus, he's a running man. He's a running man?
Is he?
We don't get that, Aaron Nix. I'm so sorry.
Who was the last pick? Sorry. Were they in Running Man?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, no. Brock Lesnar? Why is he a Running Man?
Have you just woken up, Brett?
Yeah. I dozed off, sorry.
That is harsh on our listeners, Brett. Oh, it's a listener bit. I'll just catch up on some Zeds. Unbelievable.
Finally, from Mr. Nix, Bret Hart, because I imagine unlocking a safe would require an excellence in execution. Oh, that's good. I like that one.
Nice. Very nice.
And finally, John Grove 01, Paul Robertson 5 times. That's it.
Perfect. That's it.
I would not
really
want Paul Robertson on my bank heist team.
No, that is
Paul Robertson
total
anywhere near me.
kamikaze.
But at least Paul Robinson could get through the vaults because he's so tiny. He's so little. Just pick him
Don't
up.
tell him that. He'll beat the living shit out of you.
He's the live wire the rest of the crew are uncertain of, and like they're going, we can't have him. It's a bad omen. And then, true to form, that live wire kicks it off.
Yeah,
bullets start flying, and it all goes to shit.
He's the one who kills a clerk when they just break into the bank at the very beginning.
Right. Paul, keep calm. Oh, why is that clerk dead?
Everyone's dead.
And why are you drinking her blood?
What's with all this blood? There's more blood in here than there are people. Did you bring extra blood?
I thought you said no witnesses.
Good stuff. Great submissions there, listeners. And in fact, they were so good that I've decided to do this slightly differently, and we are now going to lock down one each. And usually we would lock down one of our own picks, but we can still do that. But I'm going to say we can include the listeners too. So let's go through one by one and lock down one. It can be one of your own picks or one of the listeners. So, Brett, what are you going to do? You're going to go for Sparkplug Holly? You're going to go for
I'm
Ricochet?
Definitely locking down Sparkplug Holly because he's our only getaway driver so far, I think.
Good point.
Otherwise, we're running away on feet or Braun Strowman's back. So I'm going Sparkplug Holly.
Good stuff. This is good. We need to be tactical. So we've got the driver. I think I'm going to go for Braun, guys, because I think we need the beefcake.
The muscle.
We need the muscle.
You want him there. Definitely want him there.
I'm locking in Braun. John, who are you locking in?
I'm actually going to go Oliver Guy and Shockmaster.
Perfect.
Mate, is this the first ever listener submission that's made the final 5?
I think it is.
Might be.
I think it is. Well done, Oliver Guy. Huge moment. You receive absolutely nothing for that. And Sam?
I'm going to follow in John's footsteps and take one of Capital Clamface's.
Yes.
I'm going to bring in the Big Boss Man because, my God, how good is that, having a guy on the inside?
Yes, good point.
So your thoughts are that we'll get to the bank and the big boss man will actually be in there working or guarding the safe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that.
Or he rocks up afterwards like, that's okay, guys, I got this. Come with me, boys.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then that's the end of that story. They then go off and divide all the money.
Okay, great little story there. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's 4 lockdown. Sparkplug Holly, Braun Strowman, Shockmaster and Big Boss Man. And now we need to debate the final one. Anyone got a call? I mean, what are we missing? I think we might be missing a little fast, flighty person like Ricochet, potentially. What do we think?
Or DDP. a smooth, bendy man.
He's flexible, but he's not fast. Is he?
What about someone that can do a bit of everything, like Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, what about Road Warrior Animal? Sorry, that was mean.
Just looking through the listeners' ones again. I quite like Adam Cole as the leader, but it's just because he is charismatic. I suppose he doesn't specifically bring anything else in particular to this. So, what do you think, Brett?
I'm leaning towards John's Chris Jericho because he's also a charismatic leader.
I was hoping you were going to say gobbledygooker, but I'll take Chris Jericho.
Well, he's charismatic, isn't he? Like,
we
he's
don't
got
have a
the
leader.
gift of the gab. He could like sweet talk the cashiers at the start,
Yeah.
Also, Codebreaker, guys. Codebreaker.
And he'd get everyone on side.
Yeah. Imagine the bit before where they're up in the, unused office and he's got the whiteboard out or the pinboard with all the bits of string connecting all the different bits and he's basically cutting a promo but giving the plan for the heist. That'd
be amazing. I actually want to see that.
I've been brought round to this. I quite like the idea of Y2J planning a heist. I think he'd be good with it. He's good with a list.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's lock him in as the 5th pick. So we have Chris Jericho as our charismatic leader. We have Sparkplug Holly waiting in the car outside. We've got Braun Strowman who's just going to lift up the safe and chuck it on the floor and just destroy the whole building and just be the
Take
absolute
all the
greatest
money.
man in the history of the world. And then we've got the big boss man, who's either working on the inside or doing something else, but he's going to be useful in some way. I didn't sound very convinced then, did I? But I am. And then
That's fine, I've got
finally,
the only law enforcement here.
finally, John has picked Shockmaster.
It'd be good for going through walls, you know.
Every team needs a mascot.
Yeah, we always need something stupid. Someone
And he
silly.
can be the fall guy as well.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to lose someone from your crew.
He's very good at falling over, so there we go.
Perfect. Top 5. What a great top 5. And congratulations to Oliver Guy and Capital Clamface for their picks featuring. That's cool. Any honourable mentions, guys? Brett.
So,
Sam's obviously pumped and ready to go. Who have you got, Sam?
I had
you,
one I was
Sam.
so close to putting in.
Go on.
Vince McMahon. Who the fuck is going to pin anything on Vince McMahon ever?
Yeah, he'll wiggle his way out of it, wouldn't he?
He has made a couple of murders disappear. Why not a bank robbery?
Exactly.
Okay, any others?
So yeah, on my long list, I had Los Federales de Santos. I thought he could be your
perfect.
inside man.
Yeah, I mean, if he could get inside. That's harsh. No need to make a fat joke.
Wow, body shaming, Jesus.
Adam.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Anything
Uncalled
goes
for.
on this episode, surely.
We love Santos.
Yeah,
We
we
do
do.
love
We absolutely do. Good pick.
You know who else I think
Sam?
would be good? Yeah,
Who else?
EC3, because everyone could just forget about him in about a week's time.
Oh,
Poor
Turn up.
EC3.
Do
that
something
video
big.
of EC3, Jesus.
Forgettable.
Brett sent was it you, Brett, who sent round the
No, it was Sam.
or was
I
it
think.
Sam? Yeah, in our WhatsApp group there was a lovely video which was split screen. Top screen was EC3 doing an entrance in NXT a year ago, coming out full of passion, pointing at his E, his C and his 3, smiling, looking happy. And then the bottom video, where was he? A main event show.
Yeah.
Looking miserable as fuck.
It was hard to watch that.
It
Yeah.
was, wasn't it? It's really depressing. I felt so sorry for the guy.
Yeah. I've got a few honourable mentions, which I'll fly through. Kofi Kingston, he could use his Royal Rumble skills to avoid the lasers, but we already had Ricochet for that skill. Curtis
And
Chapman
DDP.
Oh, God's sake. Curtis Chapman could hack the security systems. The
Ooh,
keyboard
yeah,
warrior.
nice.
Yeah, so the alarms don't go off.
Yeah, we didn't have a
Nikki
tech guy,
Cross.
did we?
I mean, we didn't have... No, we didn't. But we didn't have any women either. So shout out for Nikki Cross, who could just go in and intimidate everyone just by being completely mental.
Yeah.
And then along the same lines as EC3 and John Cena, I thought we could have Bobby Lashley because he's got a lot of muscle, but
What? Come on.
nobody would notice him at all.
Yeah, actually, he could just walk in, wouldn't he? And people
That's
just
what I
like,
mean.
Yeah.
And then finally, I had The Miz, just because he's a legit high roller, so he could go in, do all the talking, pretend he's going to open a huge account, and then just take off his shades, pull out a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know, shoot everybody.
It's
I
not
lost
very
my way a
subtle,
bit
but I
there.
like it.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
He came to play. Who was it who turned up at... Was it Brian Pillman who rocked up at Stone Cold's house with a gun?
Yes.
Oh, he should be in the crew. Anyway, no, we're done. Sparkplug Holly, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, Shockmaster, and Big Boss Man are our final 5. And that is it for top 5 wrestlers to rob a bank with. Next podcast. Oh, it's a big one. John, summer quiz next week, is it?
Summer quiz. I've written 1.5 rounds so far. Yay.
Nice.
Whoa. Nice one.
Good work.
Excited. Who won the last summer quiz? Probably Sam.
It was Sam, yeah. I've got the prize on my desk right now, actually.
What is it? The little Baron Corbin?
Yeah,
Jacket.
little Baron Corbin vest. A little plaque.
Oh, that is so funny. For anyone who doesn't know what we're on about there, go back and listen to last year's summer quiz. John got the best prize.
Do you know what's
ever.
amazing is that they kind of... You got that, and then he stopped wearing that vest.
Yeah, it's almost is in memorial of that vest.
Yeah, it's worth a lot of money now, that prize. Moving on. I put a little note here, guys, so sorry, but I just wanted to mention Pod Bible, of the podcast magazine that I'm involved with. Issue 3 came out last week, so if you go to podbiblemag.com, you can read that or you can order a copy.
Oh, nice.
That's enough of that. Brett, if people want to send us more lovely wrestler banking puns or just more suggestions, how do they get in touch?
They can email us to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. They can get us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We are at hardestpartpod, and they can check out our merch to stop us having to rob a bank, Which would be hardest part of the ring.bigcartel.com.
We're in too deep now, Brett. We ain't stopping.
We've got our crew now. We're gonna do it.
There's no outs.
Thank you everybody for listening. Please, if you feel inclined to do so, leave us a little review and a rating on iTunes. That'd be really good. But until next week, when we return for the summer quiz, I'm feeling confident. That is it. So goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye from Sam.
See you later.
Goodbye from John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring. On the hardest part of the ring.
Nutella. Oh, bloody hell. Nutella? Who the fuck's Nutella?
Nutella. That famous wrestler, Nutella, finishes with the hazelnut spread.